Ghana's District Assembly Common Fund, DACF, was established in 2005 to alleviate poverty among persons with disabilities, PWDs. However, before its introduction, the government implemented the Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy 1, GPRS 1, from 2001 to 2004, which unfortunately neglected PWDs. Fortunately, the evaluation of the GPRS 1 led to GPRS 2, which made provisions for PWDs, allocating up to 5% of the District Assemblies Common Fund to support them. Initially, many districts struggled to meet this 5% target, instead allocating between 1 to 2% without proper accountability. This led to advocacy efforts by stakeholders and the government, ultimately resulting in the common fund percentage for PWDs being set at 3%.
2010, with support from a funding organization called RAVI, Rise and Voices Initiative, which later became Star Ghana, we were able to develop guidelines to regulate the disbursement and utilization of the fund. So within the guidelines, monies were set aside for businesses, including startup capital, capital for expansion of businesses, then for health, for education, for procurement of assistive technologies for persons with disability, and even to the extent that we made provision for organizational development of persons with disability, their advocacy organizations. So we're able to get that guidelines at least to make sure that things were not whimsically done.
Nearly 3 million Ghanaians living with disabilities face a relentless struggle for inclusion, independence and dignity. The District Assembly Common Fund, intended to bridge the gap, often remains an elusive lifeline. Meet Patience, a resilient individual living with albinism for over a decade. She relies on social protection programs like the Common Fund to sustain her small fruit business and daily needs. Yet, for 3 agonizing years, she waited in vain for crucial funding, highlighting the fund's unfulfilled promise.
It means through the core social welfare. Na bi on ma omumaye. And so the core bet take long as na aba. Enye enough sir. Bi o mbema obata de na okọ ne be na wo calculate na di koya e bia ansu. Nya say BDA bag met me the account.
Patient's case is no different from that of Janet.
My core private, omunya frame, almost on be frame, but still omu frame. Almost 8 months in here. Omu frame.
The 3% allocation of the District Assemblies Common Fund for persons with disability aims to transform lives through grants for healthcare, education, and entrepreneurship. However, the reality is marred by delays, mismanagement, and lack of transparency. As a result, many PWDs face unmet needs, uncertainty, and frustration.
Ever since the assessment of the Common Fund guidelines since 2010, the Common Fund disbursement has not been forthcoming, which is a big challenge ever since 2010 to date. As I'm speaking to you now, this particular year, they've only done one disbursement, in which we're expecting the rest to also come. It was somewhere about 2018, that is this government's regime, that the District Assembly the administrator changed the release of the fund for those who have been setting up for business for some items, for machines, that will also help them to use the machines to establish their own business or do their own business. Like the idea is to establish them, but not to give them money. so that anything that you need for business, the assembly will buy it for you, the procurement officer will buy it for you, and then you use it for your business. And that is why it has also been helping them. And then if you need fridge, if you need sewing machine, if you need container, anything at all that you write to the assembly through the PWDs Common Fund, you'll be given to, so that you also use it to empower yourself, and then it will reduce your economical hardship. It's a challenge to have the fund for everybody quarterly, even if the government decides to bring it quarterly, unless there's some increment.
The problem is not that the funds do not exist. They do. The challenge lies in disbursement and properly communicating to the people who need the most.
Any assessment of the Common Fund will tell you that it has really made impact on the lives of persons with disability. But still, because of human factor, because it was being administered by, let's say, authorities of the assembly, sometimes they will not even make disclosure of the releases unless PWDs hear it from unofficial sources. Then they have to investigate to see whether indeed there have been releases. So these are some of the challenges that we had, and still we have those challenges. I must also even indicate that during political seasons like this, you get MCEs, DCEs, then instead of going through the right channels and procedures to disburse the money, they just pick the money, identify people of their own, then begin to kind of discriminately support people. And sometimes we realize that these people are not even persons with disability, but somebody who is not so well because of rheumatic pains of that kind, even some because of old age. They are not persons with disability, but they are old people, and they want to support them just to gain some kind of political favor. So these are some of the problems that we have with the administration of the Common Fund.
For Patience and Janet, the wait is not just about lost money. It's the fact that all hope is lost.
4 years ni because me chro koye na mo de mami amu mami no na me Ghana card iraye nti mo di check ni mami na me ko bank no mo si say Ghana card me chinchi bank ni na so mo si Ghana card nti no na me from mo ka chro mo na mo say date na mo show card no so no ebe esun a I was saying me fan bra because me ni Ghana card nti no me fa check ni back na me check ni call back. Despite
the District Assemblies Common Fund's delays and inefficiencies, there are glimmers of hope. When the system functions as intended, it can profoundly impact lives. Meet Gifty, a determined cosmetologist who embodies the fund's transformative potential. After months of waiting, Gifty received the crucial support, empowering her to grow her business, train her children who serve as apprentices, and break the cycle of dependency. Gifty's story showcases the fund's capacity to foster entrepreneurship, promote family-based economic growth, and enhance social mobility. Her experience serves as a testament to the power of perseverance and the importance of continued advocacy for improved fund management.
Edu me time so no na ban say or the scan share sase o bi a we say o me pesca no de akofa niema aton obi o se me pe sika na akoto fridge e the scan man na on koto fridge no wakodi nti o de mrebi ba so de obi a ye no dwuma obi a ye no on kan en to sa de kro no en fambre no me so na me ye me san no dwuma nails ne pedicure ne makeup ne sanya man but na me wo tent ma bo apata na me de me ye wase na napa me ba na ma be hyehyɛ enwumre na ma se yi nti na me de me bre pa nti se ne aban kan ye no so obi antro de opɛ no na onto saa adwuma no ɛho akɛde mfamre no e ma me de me tro container ye container ne ma but ɛho akɛde bia nka ho no ani so mo ka se ye mpe baby a ye pese ye de ye store ni si ene ye be pay baby kro no ti ye pay baby kro no ombe ye form no omo di container ne si wo no omo ye form no maaye na omo boss eno ano no enti ye mu proud mu siesie ye mu bibia ne glass ye wa se ne sese mu aye fe ne nyina ye mi ama won ene me modembo.
Alberta, on the other hand, has been supported with an industrial sewing machine, which has been her source of income over the years. Though she requested for additional fabrics to enable her do her business, she was only given the sewing machine at the time of her request.
Ena minya accident na ema me ye disability kotua so me wie ye no na me start adwuma na more than 30 years ni common fund ena minya industrial sewing machine aboa me pa na me use electric machine so ema problems into so but industrial machine no so even upamade neat na unya industrial machine ema eye more neatness ena look ema we fast bit say we use electric machine na we to me pam carbon slate mienu a day we betimi amawa pam be 3-4.
Streamlining disbursements to meet the intended purpose of getting to the right people quickly is of grave concern for the National Council for Persons with Disability. Mr. Yawufori Deborah, the chairperson of the National Council on Persons with Disabilities and the vice president of the World Blind Union, believes more must be done to ensure that no one is left behind.
A common fund has a whole lot of delays. The releases are not so frequent as we expected. So sometimes some of the quarters run into the ensuing year. So actually that is one problem that we have of it. So those who need money for educational pursuits, sometimes that is the major problem they have. So when school reopens and you need money from the common fund to support your school fees and other things, then it becomes very difficult. So that's one thing.
In the year 2010, the Disability Fund was reviewed for the first time, and 4 years on, there has been a second review of the guidelines to better implement and disburse funds.
Persons with disabilities were underrepresented. So this time, their representation on the committee has increased from 1 to 2. And they have also made sure that this time around, gender representation is also catered for. So that is one area that was made. Then again, they realized that many PWDs were, especially mothers, special mothers, that is, mothers who have children with severe disabilities that limit their time to even engage in work. This time around, they are being supported within the Common Fund because some of them, they have children with cerebral palsy and they cannot do somebody's work. So because they need to give 24-hour attention to their children. So they are being supported to undertake businesses on their own so that they will have much time for their children.
Getting access to the fund in the districts continue to be encouraging, but Mr. Deborah believes it's about time Ghana learns from other African countries like South Africa and Namibia in the care and empowering of PWDs.
Yeah, South Africa, they have what we call the social grant. So that social grant is used to pay some categories of persons with disability, those who don't work at all, and those whose income are drastically low. They are supported monthly by this social grant. For me, I think that all the monies we get from common funds should be put into a common fund, and that fund should be complemented by support of funds from corporate Ghana, so that every month those who do not have any skills to earn income, or those whose skills or income are very, very low, they should be given monthly stipend from that money.
For people like Patience and Janet, the wait continues. But with stronger oversight, better management and more accountability, the Common Fund can truly be a lifeline for thousands of Ghanaians living with disabilities.
It helped me when I was at the university, and then it helped. I received about 2 funds for my school fees, and it helped me a lot. But it couldn't cater all, since the fund has not been coming quarterly as it was initiated for. In fact, it was a challenge. Once the fund was not coming, I was also dependent on it. I have to switch on to go for student loan. And student loans are now at computer school. I've been owing them, and the percentage have been increasing still date. And it's a challenge for me, since there's no any relevant job that I can get some fund to settle the debt over there. But for the Common Fund, it has been helping a lot.
Persons with disability, stakeholders say, do not need charity, but rather opportunities to be empowered to work and manage their lives and families.
There is dignity in labor. And again, I should also say that the government, the corporate Ghana, and everybody should give opportunities for persons with disability. For me, I always say that persons with disability, they do not necessarily need charity. What they need is opportunity. Instead of giving them charity, you should think of giving them opportunities to work. And if they are able to earn something, at least it will also add to their dignity. Then again, they need understanding. They don't need compassion. People prefer to give them compassion. Oh, I am more about that kind of thing. Yeah, man, let's give him this handout. Sometimes what they give them is in itself insultive. But if we understand them, that if they are meaningfully helped, they will be able to manage their own lives, they will be able to do things that will raise their image and personality. I think that will be more helpful from people than giving them something that is not so helpful, so practical to take them out of their situation.
In a nation pledged to inclusivity, the quest for comprehensive social protection persists. Yet, persons with disabilities hold on to hope. Hope that someday the system will fulfill its promise, serving all with equity.
Loan na meje e define yamani bu store ni se sia store na munya mampo asa because eno na me di bitua school fees eno na me di to books eno na me di na wotwe ne sonso eno na me di kotua loan ti sika bi mfi baby mba yesra ban so ombe so yasene se na ye bre ye disabled for ye bre ya yetiwe ye hia na mu apa
mo be ma ye sika ne so anka be boaye because minya 5 years na eno anu minya ahwe bi o bibia amba bi o ena ntoma no so amba Tinka ba yanka no so beboa me pa.
Nti wo mo ma ye common fund. There's 2 years ni. Nti onu na me dan ni kakra. Omo to atade mama. Me to togo niama ye di ba ye no. E me to bi. Nti wo mo ko to bi mama. Me pese omo ma me scan na niama no e ya uto no one way enko nti na ma to niama different.
To translate hope into reality, many believe robust accountability is crucial. Government transparency, local authority oversight, and timely interventions. They also say effective accountability will empower marginalized communities, foster inclusive development, and honor the pledge of inclusivity. Only through collective action and vigilant stewardship can we amplify voices of persons with disabilities, strengthen social protection, and build a truly inclusive society.